It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Well, hello there. We are back together. And thank you, Allison Steele. I've had to get in the habit of thanking Allison Steele for that lovely voice and intro that she gives us every single week. Hey, everybody. It's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor. And you know how much I appreciate our time together. And this is our time to talk stocks, wealth, mindset, and creating passive income through trading in the stock market at home. Now, today I have a very, very special guest in the building, as they say, someone who I've known for a while and who's been trading for over a decade and employed the wealthy investor system. And today he's going to share the totality of his story with you, the listening audience. Andre Blake is back.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
I am well, sir. And yourself?
I'm doing quite well. Now, just to let our audience know, today we are in two different cities. Yeah. So this is a phone interview for you. I'm on the West Coast. You're in the East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. So with everything that's going on in the world, that's the way it shakes out. but
we're still getting it done.
We're getting it done, and I thank you tremendously for being here. So I want to jump right into your story. You didn't come from a family where people traded stocks online, and I just want to say, Andre has made hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 10-year period trading. This is all passive income outside of his chosen profession. But you didn't come from a family where you were exposed to stock market trading. Why was that?
Not at all. My father's from Trinidad in the West Indies. My mother's from Venezuela. I am, I guess, first generation to grow up in the States. I myself was born in Trinidad. And, you know, if you're growing up in a house full of immigrants, you know, folks from other countries, it was about go to school, get an education, get a good job, you know, trading time for dollars. And that was that. My mother was a film producer. So she introduced me to residual income. And so far as, you know, if you worked in the film industry and you were, say, in the Directors Guild, they get a piece of a percentage, if you will, of what the movie makes. So, you know, passive income coming through the door once a month, or once a quarter, or, you know, whenever that's paid out. And so that was my first introduction to residual income and the idea of residual income. I myself became an actor, where you really get a chance to understand how residual income works. Quick story, I was working on this movie called Stepmom with Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon. And I played Julia's assistant in the film. Small role, maybe a couple of weeks of work. Great. In the film business, they do what's called a drop pickup, whereby if they drop you, because they shot some of your stuff and then they drop you and then they can pick you up later in their schedule to finish your stuff. Well, they dropped me and then they picked me up. You can only do a drop pickup once. They dropped me, they picked me up. After that pickup, Susan Sarandon got sick. They had to hold me and pay me. Then Christmas came. They take a break. They're still holding me. They're still paying me. It ended up working out whereby on paper, it looked like I worked on that movie for about 2.5, 3 months. Your residuals are based on how long you're on the film. My first residual check from Stepmom, I fell out of my chair because it was for several $1,000s. That really helped me to understand residual income.
First of all, anyway. I love that story and I love that movie. And whenever I'm up late at night and you show up, I know there's another check coming. Let's put it to you that way. So you know,
groceries.
Groceries, cable bills, pays for the vacation. You know, so one of the things that's really interesting is in the entertainment business, and everybody knows that I also come from the entertainment business. We do, if we're fortunate enough to work, we do experience residual income on a regular basis. But you and I both have friends outside of the industry where that is a foreign concept, right? This idea of making money. So when you discovered the stock market and all the residual income that you can generate from that, was it that there wasn't quite as much resistance for you because you were already familiar with the fact that you were getting checks and not having to go to work?
Most definitely. I mean, I like to call the stock market, my TV show that that I'm in charge of. No one can ever cancel my show because I'm the one making the trades and making this residual income happen. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. And the funny thing is, my father, very, very bright man, to run an airline, considers him, who wants to be the smartest old man ever. We still have stock conversations to date because I introduced him to your program, and he came in for a while and then left because, he wants to be the smartest old man ever. But, and trying to help him to understand how some of the systems that you've put in place work. When he often will come to me and say, well, what do you think about this? Pick this apart. And that's what I really love about your system, is that it's given me tools to, when people come at me, because people always come at you when they hear you trade in the stock market. Well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about this penny stock? And what about this? And what about that? And I'm like, listen, this is very specific. Okay. This is a very, very specific system. And that's what I like about it, because in its specificity is where you find your own golden pots. Your little pots of money at the end of the rainbow. It's like the pots of money at the end of a bear call spread or a covered call, and you get to decide. You choose. So that's what I really like about it. No one can cancel my show.
Well, one of the things, because it's a revenue machine that just keeps going and going and going. But
Exactly.
One of the things that I've always been struck by you, Andre, is even though you've been acquainted with the idea of residual income, this idea of having like a millionaire's mindset and expecting residual income, you have had certain moments when you have said to me, I really have to rethink like how I'm moving forward because I think I'm having a breakthrough. Do you recall any of those conversations where you were like, I think I have a group of friends that are just cut off from wealth and prosperity? Because
Most
of
definitely.
And it's not because they're not educated, because most of your friends are going to these great schools, right? But what happens when you discover that the mentality and the belief system that you've embraced that has allowed you to earn these hundreds of thousands of dollars over years trading stocks, what do you do when you discover that your friendship circle, most of them haven't embraced that same train of thought?
At first, to be quite honest, it's a little sad because, like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I'm of the mindset of I don't want to go to a party by myself, And trading stocks and following your system, it's a party. It's a really, really great party, and it's a party that can change your financial life. And when you see that your friends and people that you care and love about aren't willing to take stock, if you will, no pun intended, take stock in themselves and trust that a shift in their mindset, and not a big shift. We're talking about a very small shift in your thinking that could help you to put you in a position where money's no longer an issue in your life. That to me is sad. But if I must go it alone, then I must go it alone.
Right. If you must go it alone, it's actually not a bad trip, right?
Hey, listen, Maui.
Yeah, that
by
was
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess I'll just have to suck it up.
We're going to get to this Maui thing because the Wealthy Investor Program does this thing in Maui now that everybody loves. And everyone trades better when they leave Maui because we're all going back to these 5-star hotels and it's all you talk about during the day on the pool. So you're absorbing the lifestyle and getting the education at the same time. People trade differently. And yes, it costs a little money. And I always say, take the money out of your trading account that you made this month and finance your trip to Maui. But let's go back just a little bit. Let's go back because you've been in markets where the market has pulled back really radically.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes,
and you've still made money. So right before we get to that, covered calls. Can you recall, I know it's been 10 years, can you recall your reaction to covered call writing at the beginning of your journey?
At the beginning of my journey, covered call writing was like first learning to drive. You're like, wow, I'm doing this and it works. Oh my gosh. And if you needed the money periodically, I would pull some money out from, covered calls that I'd written and do something for myself, whether it was a suit or a watch or, whatever the case may have been, down payment for a BMW, whatever. And so that was it was remarkable. When you start writing covered calls and you start generating this money, you're like, this is the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. But then, the market doesn't always behave the way you'd like it to. Mm-hmm. And, if you're in the market long enough, you will see up markets and you will see down markets. And sometimes they catch you off guard. But you'll definitely learn something. That's for sure.
Yeah. I want to get to some of the strategies that we use in a down market, but let's just build on this theme. So when you discovered covered calls, best thing since sliced bread, what happened when you discovered Leaps options?
Wow. That was like ice cream and cherries on top of a sundae. Just, like you can get a normal sundae, you get some ice cream, maybe put a little whipped cream on it, but like Leaps in a bullish market. Wow. What it does to your account is just amazing. It's like supersizing your McDonald's meal for pennies on the dollar. It's just trading Leaps changed the way I look at bull markets. Because it's very easy to get seduced by the money that you make writing covered calls, that guaranteed income. But if you have a Leaps option or several Leaps options on a couple different positions and your stocks rise or tend to, because you're in a bullish market, the way it supercharges your account is like nothing I've ever seen before.
It's amazing, right?
Like nothing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Here's a question you'll love. Hey, have you ever gotten greedy with Leaps?
Oh, yeah.
And when you step out of discipline, what happens?
You pay the price.
Yes, you
pay the piper.
You do pay the piper. You do pay the piper.
Because in so far as stocks can move upward quickly, they can also fall to the downside rather quickly. And I don't know, if you get greedy and you find yourself holding, 10, 15 contracts of a certain security. I don't know what. Let's make one up.
Yeah.
Square.
Yeah. Wow.
SQ. How about that?
Correct.
And you're holding a bunch of these Leap options, and if your stock turns, and you go, it'll come back. It'll come back. You keep telling yourself it'll come back because you keep remembering all the good times.
Yes.
All those lovely dinners when you were buying and selling these Leaps and life was great. You're making thousands of dollars. Yeah. And then this instrument turns on you.
Yeah.
It's like your precious little poopsie the Rottweiler turning and biting you on your leg.
That is correct. And how dare you? And Andre's truly using the metaphors of the program, because I talk a lot about dating stocks, right?
Yeah.
And we use a lot of food analogies, especially in the live program, because it lowers the risk that people will feel intimidated. So it's like it's having a great meal and all that. So when you use that language, so people were like ice cream and cherries, we talk about that kind of stuff. Now, here's what's interesting. Because you've been in the program for over a decade, when you discovered the bear call spread, which to me is the superhero of all trades, what was your reaction to that, to the idea that you could get 200, 300, 700% returns while stocks are dropping?
Okay, so... what's that saying? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Yeah. I remember when you first brought the bear call spread into the program, and just like someone showing you a new trick or showing you a card trick, or like, no, you can do this too, and you're thinking to yourself, for real? Because the idea of not owning the stock and generating the kind of money that the bear call spread generates is almost criminal.
Yeah, and I always
Or
say,
at least
and
it could feel that way.
yes, and I say it feels criminal because we are so programmed to trade time for dollars, right? Like,
Yeah.
how could you be making $4,000 in 7 days and stocks are dropping, right? We're just not taught to think like that. And in Maui, you know, one of the things I like to blow people's minds, I show them how institutions are making $7 million every 7 days with these spreads.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because if we're making 7,000, then there's got to be somebody somewhere with a $500 million account, and so for them to generate, you know, $50 million is like a joke.
Right. It's out of the realm of possibility for the average person, and so that's why I always say in the Wealthy Investor Program, you must get a financial education. Now, some people are going to listen to this conversation around bear call spreads, and it's clearly going to get their attention. But I find that a lot of those people don't want to study how to get good at that trade. And one of the things that's impressive about you is you're willing to put in the time, even after a decade of trading, because I know some things that you have been doing with spreads in the last 90 days, which have been amazing, right?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
How important is it to study these trades on an ongoing basis, in your view?
It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. You know, it's funny because people would ask me, you know, hey, I want to learn how to trade. How much time do you spend? Well, okay, if there's something that can pay you for the rest of your life that no one can take away from you, why wouldn't you want to study it and pull it apart, if you will, to figure out how it works, so that in bear markets or bull markets, you can utilize this system and this one specific particular trade to generate thousands of dollars for yourself? Why wouldn't you want to study? I mean, I know for myself, I'm in my account almost every day. There are times when I have to say to myself, Andre, turn it off. Like, go outside, go ride your bicycle, go do something else, step away. Because when you look at it long enough and you pull it apart and you do your analysis and your study, your ability to see the money becomes crystal clear. It becomes crystal clear, and then you can decide what you're going to do and how you're going to generate these monies a lot quicker. And if you can shorten that space and time so that you can look at a trade and say, okay, $12 out. If I sell this and I buy that, that's what I'm going to sell. This is what I'm going to buy. And then you just calculate how much you're going to make. Great. And you're done. So once that study period, once you put in your study time, when it comes time to execute the trade, there's no fear. There's no question. There's no second guessing, because you've done the study. You've done the work. You've watched the stock. You understand how that stock behaves. And when you can understand that, forget it. Then the stock market is your oyster.
It really is. And really what I ultimately realize when I see other people like you who've studied the Wealthy Investor approach, and there are a lot of approaches out there. I just try to make mine simple so that people who are not professional traders have a shot at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Like, I feel like if I can help as many people get there as possible, for most people passively, that's pretty good. But your ability to, your willingness to always study even after 10 years is so impressive. And one of the reasons I salute you with that is because markets change, right? Stocks change. The Dow stocks change. The size of the floats change on these stocks, right? So that means a stock that was not active 4 years ago in the Dow, all of a sudden, it's like the hottest date for us. So you've seen those kinds of... Go ahead.
I said, because the world changes and different companies come in and out of fashion because their systems in regards to how they generate money for their companies change. You know, the Netflix system, if you will, you know, the way in which they make money, this whole the idea of subscribers, I believe that changed the game. That changed the entertainment game. Because of Netflix is why you now have Disney Plus, why you now have Apple Plus. Because everybody's like, wait a minute, they got 100 million people paying them $10 or $12 a month? Are you kidding me? We want in on that. That's our catalog that that they're using to generate some of these monies. Like, hold on now. So I think that in and of itself changed the game.
I agree with you because revenue streams and times are changing. Certain stocks are going to come in and out of favor.
Correct. Yes. Right. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Yes.
Perfect. Now I got
to, and if you can recognize that those different stocks that change, then you can, make a lot of money for yourself.
You sure can. Now, listen, I got to take a quick commercial break, but when I come back, I want to talk to you specifically about how you've learned to react and make money when stocks decline. Fair enough?
Okay, fair enough.
Back with more Trading Stocks Made Easy right after this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
And welcome back to Trading Stocks Made Easy. And today we have the pleasure of having actor, writer, now content producer Andre Blake sharing his experience in the stock market. So Andre, we talked about, the shift in your mindset before the break, right?
Yeah.
And we also talked about how you have adapted, because obviously when you're trading over 10 years, you see your share of bull markets and bear markets. When a market pulls back now, what is your emotional reaction and what is your tactical reaction?
It's a great question. Over the years, when I first experienced a market pullback, it was emotional. It was emotional because we have a tendency to look at your account value and you see your account value dropping and you're going, wait, where's my money going? Guess what? That's not all your money. That's just what some of your stocks were worth at that particular time. That's not the totality of what's going on in your account or in the world. So in the past, I would get very emotional, and tactically, is that right? Yeah. I would freeze because I would think to myself, well, it can't stay down here forever. It can't go lower. Oh, come on. It can't go lower. It's going to turn around. But what happens is when you have an emotional response, that deer in the headlights thing that happens doesn't serve you well and doesn't serve your account well. So as time has progressed and I've learned more and I've studied more and I've come to understand how the bear call can help me in a down market or in a bull market, either way, my ability to assess what's going on in the market and react, my reaction time has shortened. It's become, a lot quicker. I'll just react now and make a move and set up bear calls or whatever the case may be, or get out of whatever trailing cost basis covered call positions that I have and do something. You must do something. You have to. That's how we generate money.
Yes. And so one of the tactics that you use is actually you will take profit when the market pulls back. You will actually take profits on some of your long-term holdings.
Most definitely.
Right.
That's what they're there for.
And you take that profit to claim it, ideally to buy the stock back cheaper. Is that right?
Correct. And actually, it's twofold. One, to buy the stock back cheaper, but when you take profits from a long-term position, you still like that stock long. 9 out of 10 times, the story really hasn't changed that much. There's just something that might be happening in the market or in the world that causes general pullback in the market. So, that being said, if you can free up more cash, because cash is a valid position, people forget that. They're like, I have to be trading all my money. No, you don't. Cash is a valid position. So if you trim some of those positions and take some profits, hey, you never go broke taking a profit, right? I believe a friend of mine told me that.
Yes, that is correct.
But when you free up that cash, what it does is, if you pay down it then pays down your margin if you were in your margin at all, and gives you more capital to work with, so that you could, in theory, write more bear call spreads because you don't have to own the stock, and generate even more money for yourself, even in a down market. So what'll happen is, you're here trading, and things are going great, and you're writing covered calls, and you're getting called out, and life is great. And all of a sudden, there's a downturn in the market, and you go, and instead of going, oh, wait, where's all my money going? No, shave some positions, take some profits, and start writing bear call spreads, because now you have more room to write bear call spreads with more contracts. Because let's face it, for me, insofar as the bear call goes, it's about contract count.
Yes.
If you're writing 10 to 15 to 20 contracts of whatever it is, and you're taking in, let's say, not to be, obtuse, let's say $1 per contract, which is what, $100. You write 10 of those, that's $1,000.
Yeah, you're referring to your second leg.
Yes.
Yeah, because if your first leg, here's an inside joke. If your first leg is a nickel, and your second leg is a dollar. Stop. I know.
Like, I'm just going to be a total not nice guy.
I know. We have this joke. It's just like, how'd you do in that trade? You're like, oh, man, I was a pig. That means your first leg was like a nickel, and the leg you sold was like $1.10 or $2.25, exactly. Or depending upon implied volatility, right?
Exactly. And you're just killing it on the second leg.
Yeah.
What is there to be upset about? For 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
and 9 out of 10 times, if you're in a bear call, you're not holding it to expiration.
No, because if the stock is dropping, the second leg is time decay is
losing
doing its
value,
thing.
And
right.
Exactly, data's doing its thing. You got everything working in your direction.
Now,
so
I shouldn't say this because I know I'm going to take a little criticism, okay, for this, right? Because people really listen to the show, right? But you and I know how to set up 7-day bear call spreads, right, in a down market.
Yes,
right?
we do.
So I have gotten texts from. I know we shouldn't be laughing about stocks going down, but it's just the reality. I have gotten texts from you going, did you see what happened today? And then I'll say, I'm in the studio, I'm doing an interview, I can't really talk right now. In the same way that you have gotten texts from me, like, I hope you were in. Yesterday, because it's when you get really good at the downside, it's outrageously profitable, and that's why
really is.
That's why people have heard you say, like, sometimes it feels criminal because it's just like, wait a minute, while everybody else is panicking, you have these spreads on. So when you have the right education, you know how to set up the spreads. It's all fast. Everything happens faster with lower risk.
Yes, it does. Yes,
okay.
It does.
So it's in the times that we've seen recently, it's been a very volatile market. And for those of us who know how to take a trailing cost basis, take profits and positions and set up spreads, it's like Christmas, right?
Oh. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you something about your family legacy, because you are now a father of 2 very bright, talented, and good-looking kids. And, are you teaching them about the market? Is it part of their lifestyle? They obviously have exposure to it. How do you feel about leaving that as a legacy?
I feel so very honored to be able to leave this as a legacy for them. There have been times when I was driving home from Manhattan or whatever the case may be, and I don't like trading on my phone because sometimes my thumbs get in the way or whatever the case may be. And I remember I called home once and I said to my son, my big boy, he's 16, I said, I need you to go to my computer, turn it on. And I walked him through executing a trade for me because I was watching some stock moving on a particular security. And I was just like, I got to get this trade in, because you can see the numbers on your phone, but to execute it is a whole other ball of wax. And to be able to talk my son through a trade while driving home and have him click my mouse and him getting it right was huge for me. It was huge. And I got home and he said to me, Dad, did we really just make all that money? I said, yep, we did. and you were a part of it. And now that you have this knowledge, for the rest of your life. And then I asked him one day, I said, well, what do you want to do? Because, he's 16, so he's caught up in video games. So what does he want to do? But he said, quite honestly, I want to do that stock thing. If he wants to call it that stock thing for now, so be it. Because I know in a very short space in time, his language in and around the stock market will change, because it will have to. Because I will say to him, if you're going to do this, then you need to speak this language fluently and properly and use the proper terms and writing covered calls and first legs and second legs and understand what all of that means, and buying to sell and buying to close and selling to open and selling to close. You need to know what all of that means. And you need to understand theta and time decay and intrinsic value and all of those terms that allow us to do what we do to generate this kind of money, so that, we can ultimately help others.
Yes. And that is another tenet, as you know, in the Wealthy Investor Program. When you get a financial education for yourself, you have something to pass on, the knowledge of how to generate residual income in the stock market. So how fortunate are we to all be born in this wonderful time? So thanks. I think it's important that people hear from you that you're not just making hundreds of thousands of dollars for yourself. You're also passing that education on to their kids so that they don't have to trade time for dollars for their entire life.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this has gone way too quickly, right? And you are welcome here on this show anytime, right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, but I want to talk about, because not only are you a really successful trader, you're also a pretty successful actor for a non-famous guy, as we talk about, right?
Yes.
So you've done movies with Denzel Washington, obviously Julia Roberts. There is a movie coming up soon that you are in with Jennifer Lopez. Is that right?
Correct.
We'll let the audience discover that.
Yes.
And is she beautiful or what?
Let me tell you, you see her on TV and it really doesn't do her justice.
Yeah.
I mean, she's flawless.
Yeah.
She's truly flawless and sweet as the day is long. And, when she bats those eyes at you, goodness gracious.
Even if you're in a scene and you're just pretending, it's easy to fall in love with her.
To get lost, to get, lost in her energy. She's beautiful.
Jennifer Lopez absolutely is a wonderful person. We like having people like her around in our lives. But you have now got a new credit to your life, which is content creator. You created a show called In the Whip, and it can be watched by anyone worldwide on YouTube. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. In the Whip came about, I'm sitting home watching television, and I thought to myself, there aren't any, for lack of a better term, there aren't any brown boys in this space of interviewing celebrities or even non-celebrities, people who, like myself, you recognize but don't really know their name, or you've seen them in commercials and in smaller roles in films and television. You're like, wow, they're really talented, but you don't know who they are. So I thought to myself, why not drive around with some of my actor friends and talk about their inner game, their outer game, things that they use and believe in to help them achieve the successes that they have. And so that's how In the Whip was born. And you can find me on YouTube, In the Whip, starring Andre Blake, hosted by Andre Blake. And a lot more to come.
Yeah.
A lot more to come.
A lot more to come. And there's a thing now with people in cars interviewing celebrities in cars. So you're right on time, my friend. You're right on time. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you one other question, because this show is going to get a lot of attention. There are always people who are listening, and after hearing someone who is as successful professionally and trading simultaneously, they're going to say, well, it works for that guy, but I'm not really sure it would work for me. What would you say to that person who has their money in a mutual fund of all things, and they're not really sure if this stock trading thing would work for them? You would say?
Okay. I would say to them, I was you, close that mutual account, that mutual fund, get that money out of there. Their job is not to make you wealthy. Their job is not to generate hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for you on a monthly basis. That's not their gig. Get yourself a financial education. Get into the Wealthy Investor Program, because like I said before, I too was you. I was sitting in that chair, listening to someone speak about the stock market and what kind of money you could generate. I was like, no, that can't be me. I'm running around here chasing these other dreams. Guess what? There's time. And the minute you start trading and generating money for yourself, you're going to go, why didn't I do this sooner? Don't wait till you're kicking yourself. Do it. Take the leap. It's a leap of faith. It's a leap of faith in yourself for what's possible in your life, for what's possible in your kids' lives, for what's possible in the lives of those that you love. Just do it. Just do it, because the stock market's not going anywhere. That money is there to be made. The only question is, do you want to go get it or not?
Very well said, my friend. And that comes from someone who's put in the real time and effort to not only trade when markets are rising, but to master trading when stocks are pulling back. Because every time they pull back, it is followed by retracement. And we've both had that experience, right? Andre Blake, I
won't get greedy with the leaps this time.
No, please don't please. Come on now. You know better.
I know better.
Hey, Andre, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and being here today. I really appreciate it. Will you come back and see us in the future?
I would love to.
And good luck with your show on YouTube, In the Whip. I think it's going to be...
Thank you, In the Whip. Come check us out, man. Check me out.
Yes. It's going to be really successful. I've seen a couple of episodes, and it's really motivational and very, very sweet. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Hey, everybody. It's Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor. I hope you got a little inspiration and information out of today's episode. I'm sure it helped you. If you want more information on how to trade in the stock market, you can always go to thewealthyinvestor.net. Find out what's cooking. Make sure you download the free ebook. It's totally free. And it's all about getting that financial education so you can help yourselves and help who else? The other people in your life, and leave a financial legacy. I'll see you next time right here on Trading Stocks Made Easy.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't know which stocks to choose for trading in today's market? No problem. Just follow Tyrone Jackson's hot stock picks inside WITradeschool.com. At WITradeschool.com, you could also follow Tyrone's weekly stock market tutorials and investing advice. Plus, each week you can submit your trading and investing questions directly to our staff, and Tyrone will answer them as part of our weekly video Q&A sessions. Begin your membership right now and you'll get instant access to WITradeschool.com's video library. That means you'll get to know all of Tyrone's major and minor trading strategies, including covered call writing and volatility trading for fast, sexy profits. Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. In addition to a successful podcast, Tyrone's editorial content has been featured on CBSMoneyWatch.com, NASDAQ.com, and YahooFinance.com. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.